Greetings, programs. Get your ass in here. Welcome to another week of low rent podcasting. We call it Geeks From Apartment 2. We are recording from Apartment 2 Studios somewhere deep in the heart of Rock City, New York. I am Alan One, and yes, I am the geek with the voice. Big girl's choice. The one to keep their panties oh so moist. Sitting across me, as always, the co-host of the show, Brother C. Let them know how you feeling right now.
It's me, it's Brother C. Man, I'm just going to pause right here and let you take it away and lead things, because, you know, I got a lot of wheels turning in my head right now.
Okay, so yeah, let's get some business out of the way first and foremost. You can catch us on YouTube as always. Like, share, subscribe. Finger pop that bell so you're notified of all new episodes. You can also email me directly at luckymerciless1@gmail.com. And we are on Twitter at Geeks From Apartment 2. Now, first and foremost, I would be remiss and if I didn't talk about the passing of one John Singleton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Heard about that today.
Yeah, I heard about it yesterday. Obviously, if you don't know who John Singleton is a very black film director. Directed Boys in the Hood, obviously, classic. He also directed Too Fast, Too Furious. This before they all turned to superheroes.
Oh, okay. When it was still about the streets.
He also directed the 2000 version of Shaft.
Yeah.
Which is the sequel is coming, or the other remake is coming this summer.
More Shaft than you can.
And one of our favorite movies, Four Brothers.
Yes.
That's right.
I mean, that movie, though silly, it's quotable as fuck. I mean, day to day.
He also directed Baby Boy, which I've never seen.
You never seen Baby Boy?
No.
You ain't missed much.
I always caught it on TV, kind of towards the end. But I've never really seen it.
It's a goofy fucking movie.
I'm sure
it's a step back, but
I don't know how old he was. He couldn't have been that old. He had to be in his 50s. That's why I say black guys, black men in general, go to the fucking doctor. Get yourself checked out. I actually have to go back sometime soon for my yearly checkup. Get yourself checked out. You got insurance? Go to the doctor. Make sure you're okay. Yeah. Too many black guys don't go to the hospital. Don't go to the doctor to get themselves checked out. And this is why we're losing all kinds of black dudes left, right, and center.
Okay, but what did he die from?
Hypertension. Oh, he had a stroke.
Did he?
He had a massive stroke. He was on life support.
Oh, damn.
And his family decided to pull the plug. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that's a heavy one. But
yeah. Okay, see.
Yes.
With that out of the way, let's not waste any more time because we did promise the listeners, that we would do a very short episode.
Yes.
And you couldn't ask for a more perfect storm than what we had today.
Yes.
Because in our minds, there's only one thing to talk about. As geeks, there's only really one thing to talk about.
Yep.
So, me and Brother C, prior to recording this episode, sat here and saw Avengers Endgame. And this is what this entire episode is going to be devoted to. Talking about Avengers Endgame. Now, before we get into our review, let's preface this for a few things. I thought it was going to be a rougher weekend than it was for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a geek and as a Marvel fan, somebody who has seen all 21 of these movies.
Yes.
I expected so many people to come to me like, you saw Endgame? Hey, Alan, you see Endgame? You see Endgame yet? You see Endgame? You see Endgame yet? You see Endgame? You see Endgame? You see Endgame? You see Endgame? Which I was going to be like, fuck you, I ain't seen Endgame, okay? I'm waiting on Tuesday to see this fucking movie. And if you saw it, shut your fucking hole about it.
There was a lot of that. But you know what? What kind of helped stave off the wave of spoilers was the fact that Game of Thrones had their very big episode as well. So people were so caught up with talking about that they pretty much said, we'll put Avengers spoilers to the side for a brief moment.
And thank God I don't watch Game of Thrones. And hardly anybody I know besides you and a few other people watch Game of Thrones. So it wasn't that big of a deal.
Okay.
But most people kind of been tight-lipped about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or just haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
As far as the internet's been a bit of a bitch, trying to throw all kinds of endgame shit at me. I'm like, no. Go fuck yourself, computer. I will throw water on you right now. I will throw a fucking glass of water on you. Do not spoil this for me,
yes,
internet. But the internet's been tight-lipped. So that's one thing.
Yes.
The other thing is, this is a disclaimer. Off the fucking muscle. We are going to spoil the fuck out of this movie.
Very much so.
Yeah. So if you have not seen this movie, don't listen to this episode. Which is kind of sad because a lot of people aren't listening to these episodes. And I feel bad about saying, hey, listen, you didn't see Endgame. Fucking don't listen to this episode. But it is what it is because we're going to spoil this more than a refrigerator unplugged full of food. Yeah. You're sitting out in the sun for 3 days. That's how spoiled we're going to fucking do this movie.
Spoiler warning is now. I mean, we're going straight
I'm going to put it in the disclaimer.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it in the description. This is a spoilerific episode of the Geeks From Apt 2. Because how can we do a review of Endgame and not talk about this movie? And not talk about what happens?
Yes.
Right? So, you've been warned now. So, let's talk about
Endgame. Okay, so there was one thing that we noticed, like off the bat, like 5 seconds into the movie, we noticed that, hey, is there some like time continuity thing going on here? Because they'll start off with a scene and all of a sudden, like, it seems like maybe a minute passed in the movie, but like days passed in the actual like movie time. So events are taking place off camera that we don't see, but everybody else is aware of it, and that happens like really early on in the movie.
Well, we should say that we did not see this in the theater.
No.
We saw this on bootleg, and we don't know if things were cut out.
I don't think they were.
Especially in the beginning. Because how did Captain Marvel know that Iron Man was in the ship?
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't get information about that. So I don't know if things were cut out of our version of it, but at some point he does get saved. He was trapped in space, and they did talk about that in the trailers and the TV spots that he's somehow trapped in space.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that.
Out comes Captain Marvel. I have so much things to say. Yeah. Carrying the ship. I have so much things to talk about to say about fucking Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's talk about that right now, because that was a real big point of contention for both of us.
Yeah.
The fact that Captain Marvel is not in the fucking movie. She shows up.
The very last fucking Marvel flick was her story.
Yeah.
And you would think that she would have played a much bigger role in this story than she does.
And not only was it her story, they went out of their way to like really ham-fist the fact that, hey, she's super strong. Hey guys, she's here to save the day, y'all. She's really here to wreck shop. But they fucking poochied her in the beginning of the movie.
Right.
Oh, there's a lot of shit going on in space. I'll be back in a while.
Yeah, that pissed me off.
And
you spent 2.5 hours, not even a few months ago. That movie came out when? Like March?
A couple. I'll give it
February?
A month and a half ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah, a month and a half ago. Setting up this chick that's not even in this movie for all of maybe 10 fucking minutes.
Yeah. 10 minutes
yeah.
of glow stick fighting, and, well, hey, guess what? We gave her short hair for you comic nerds.
Oh, yeah. Who gives a shit?
One thing I will say that, okay, I think we'll probably go over the things that we didn't like, because generally we loved the movie. The movie was good. I mean, parts
of it were good.
Yeah, but overall, I mean, yeah, we can pick the movie apart and be those guys, but for the most part, we enjoyed the movie. Correct?
I'm gonna go controversial here.
Okay, go ahead.
Is this one of my favorites? No.
Okay.
It's not one of my favorites.
That's fine.
It's not as good as Infinity War.
No, I think Infinity War and
it's not even as good as Civil War.
That's fair.
It's not even as good as that.
That's fair.
It's you know what?
It's a fan service movie.
It really is Return of the Jedi for me.
It's a fan servicey movie. That's kind of the problem.
That's kind of the problem. It really is Return of the Jedi for me. Whereas Infinity War was Empire Strikes Back, and that was great, and the first part was fantastic. I saw that last week. Matter of fact, again, saw it on Netflix. Fired up the old Netflix, saw Infinity War again, and saw fucking Captain Marvel again. Not on Netflix. I just watched it again. Still not blown away by that movie.
I don't really think a lot of people are though.
Well, we'll get into that in a minute.
But
my point is that just like Return of the Jedi, it did have a satisfying conclusion. You just had to go through a lot of bullshit to get there with this movie for me.
Yeah,
a lot of things that you're just like, what? Like the whole Captain Marvel thing, that pissed me off.
Yeah, the Captain Marvel thing is the worst. It's the worst thing that you can point at the movie.
But not only that, but not only that. Prior to recording this,
yes,
I went downstairs to the bodega, and one of my neighbors who works down there, he said, "Did you see this movie?" And I said, "Yes." So what'd you think? I said, "I'm not going to spoil it for you, not like we're doing right now."
Yeah,
but I said, think Back to the Future 2. That's what this movie is.
Yeah.
And how apropos and ironic it is
that they reference it.
Not only did they reference it, we just talked about time travel last week.
We did.
And what is this movie? For 2/3 of this movie, it's Back to the Future Part 2, where they go back to all the classic parts of these Marvel movies and try to change things.
Yeah.
I'm just like, huh?
But that's every time. That's time travel stories 101. You go back to the point, and you fix what you messed up. My only real problem with that is, one, I kind of was annoyed about the fact that a lot of this could have been solved. Like, a lot of things could have been solved with just speak to the person that's there, and they'll take care of it. Like the Hulk and Doctor Strange's teacher, the mystical,
Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, all he had to do was, hey,
if we don't get this time stone, you're gonna die anyways.
No, Doctor Strange sent us to do this. Oh, Doctor Strange sent you? Okay. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. The problem solved. We don't have to fight. We don't have to give you a grand explanation of how timelines work and what happens if you remove it. Just say, hey, I was sent here by this guy. We need your stone. He becomes Sorcerer Supreme because you already know this, because she already sees ahead in time.
Yeah,
so if she sees ahead in time, she already knows.
We should explain some shit.
Yes.
For the most part, that's the plot of this movie, is that they do kill Thanos in the beginning. Thor does.
Yes.
Kills him with the Stormbreaker. Goes with a head this time, which he should have done the last time, or else we wouldn't have had Endgame. But that being said, they do kill him. Unfortunately, the galaxy is still destroyed.
Yes.
So it was Scott Lang, a.k.a. Ant-Man, who comes back from the quantum realm. Have you seen Ant-Man and the Wasp? And says, hey, listen, okay, it's been 5 years since all this happened, but it's only been 5 hours where I've been.
Yeah.
So he devised a plan that, hey, we can go back in time and find all the stones before Thanos does, and then this never happens. So that's what they do. So now it's whoever's left, they go back in time. Some go back to 2014 with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Some go back to I'm trying to think now. When the first Avengers happened. What was the third one?
The third one is where Guardians.
No, we talked about that.
Guardians, Avengers,
the first Avengers, and what was the other one?
Guardians, New York.
New York. Because in New York, there was 3 of them. There was 3 Infinity Stones in New York already. They went back to
Asgard.
Asgard, yeah.
Yes.
Asgard, which is probably one of the better parts of this movie. Fat Thor.
Fat Thor is great.
Fat Thor is fucking hysterical.
Fat Thor is a gem.
Yeah,
and you should be happy for him.
Chris Hemsworth continues to prove that he is a great comedic actor.
Yes.
Yeah, because he was great. I did like his part.
Yes.
Looking like a fat Jim Morrison. Looking like Jim Morrison at the end of the doors. Let's go get some tacos.
But, yeah, okay, so we should just talk about it segment by segment. So, the New York scene, which I talked about earlier, with it has the Hulk in it, and it has...
Yeah, and eventually he makes peace with the Hulk, and he becomes the Hulk.
Yes.
He becomes just... He doesn't even bother to change anymore. He's
half Hulk, half Banner.
It's
Smart Hulk. Smart Hulk. Anybody remembers.
You know what he is? He's the new Hulk. The what's his name? Amadeus Cho.
Yes. Yeah.
In the books, anyways.
But go ahead. No, you take it.
Yeah, so let's go through this piece by piece. So where was Hawkeye? That's how the movie starts. Is that Hawkeye is training his daughter, who I thought was Kate Bishop in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the books, Kate Bishop is Hawkeye's sidekick, and she eventually becomes Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought it was in the beginning, but it was his daughter. They disappear in the snap. He goes rogue and becomes Ronin.
Yes.
Which I didn't really understand. Like, when did he get this super speed and super strength?
I don't think he had super speed or strength. He was just fighting regular old people. Like if it's like Batman fighting just regular thugs.
Maybe
he's not strong. He's just Batman.
Yeah.
So yeah, because like I said, let's go back to the New York part of the heist. So there's another scene of, hey man, if I just speak to you, we could probably resolve this pretty easily, where Captain America meets himself.
Mm-hmm.
And they start to tussle.
They get into a fight, yeah.
And yet again, if Captain America would have been like, hey, Brooklyn, cool stuff, Brooklyn.
Yeah.
He probably would have just been able to just, hey, oh, that's me. He knows me. But no, they get into a big, long fight, and old timeline Captain America realized that new timeline Captain America has a necklace that has his Bay's picture in it.
Yeah, Peggy Carter.
And so he's like, hey, how'd you get that, huh? And yet again, he could have just said, I'm you. But I guess you can't say I'm you from the future. I guess they may have established that, but...
Because he thought he was... Because old Captain America thought new Captain America was Loki.
Yes. But it's one of those things where Bruce Banner already broke the rule. He spoke to people, and he interacted with the master of, sorcery.
Right.
So he already fucked up that rule.
Right.
And Captain America has just been like, it's me. But continuing forward, the last stone that was in New York, they got that one pretty easily, right? They got the mine.
The worst was the Soul Stone, because just like in Infinity War, somebody had to be sacrificed.
Okay, then, you should take away that one then. Because
okay, so if you remember from Infinity War, Thanos sacrificed Gamora, who does come back in this movie.
Yes.
Just not in the way that everyone remembers her,
mm-hmm.
right? Because at this point, she's still... In the beginning, she was on Thanos' side, and then her and Nebula.
Yes.
Because there's two Nebulas. And then both Nebulas and her go on the side of good. So now, this time around is on the mountain.
Yes.
For the Soul Stone. It was Hawkeye and Black Widow. And both were trying to convince the other one, like, no, let me die.
Yes.
Let me die.
Who's going to be the lemming to jump off the cliff?
And at first it was Hawkeye, but then Black Widow saved him. And she was like, let me go. And so she dies.
Yes.
So, there is no more Black Widow.
But you know what?
Which is fine.
I mean,
she's a jobber.
I would have preferred my version of that scene better, where they're both trying to jump off the cliff, and they get to the someone does die, and they don't get the soul stone because they really didn't love them, and so you just see somebody at the bottom of the cliff and they're full of blood, and it's like, hey. Did you get this soul stone? Did you get it? I'm kind of dying over here. I hope you get this. And they're like, nah, not yet.
I never got to see your titties. No.
So yeah, it's like that does happen. But I kind of wish you would have went to the Asgardian one second and not this one, since this would have led into something else. But we'll backtrack to Asgard. So, they get the soul stone.
Mm-hmm.
And then they make way to showing that Nebula gets caught because she can't teleport. Well, see, no, this is when they're trying to get the Power Stone from the beginning of Guardians 1.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they get the Power Stone, and this is where evil Nebula realizes that she is connected to the nebula that traveled back in time. Now, the problem with this is, yet again, this is a situation where just talk, or in this case, just scan your damn PC for malware. Because she is connected to the future nebula, so they both share information and can see old files that are in one and the other.
Yes.
So she not only has access to, these are the people from this timeline, and they know where the Infinity Stones is. She also has access to the information that Thanos will kill Gamora. She has access to the fact that Thanos tortures her for information at some given point in the time in the future. So, knowing this because you see your future computer, just look at the information and be like, yeah, I can help my dad achieve his goal and maybe become his favorite daughter. Or maybe I just don't help him and may quite possibly live.
Yeah. We should also say that at one point, Iron Man and Captain America find another way to, because in the beginning they only have one shot at this, and going back in time and trying to find all these Infinity
Stones.
It's
a zero-sum deal. If you fuck this up, you don't get a second bite at the apple.
And then they find out,
we can Ex Machina.
Ex Machina this. So they go back to 1970 to when Captain America was still underground. They weren't really using him.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony meets his dad. And they find out, this PIM serum that we can go back in time. There's a whole bunch of that shit. So let's just go back and just steal a whole bunch of it so that we have more chances at this.
For a second, I kept thinking you kept saying pimp serum when you were saying it.
They sell that next to lean in the fucking store.
So I was kind of confused for a slight bit, because you're like, yeah, you gotta get this pimp serum. I'm like, what? What do you keep calling it? It's called Pim serum. And so
Pim juice.
So yeah, okay. I mean, we're not gonna do a play-by-play synopsis of the movie.
Why not? We're spoiling the shit out of it.
Because I don't have 3 hours to go through a play-by-play synopsis of the movie.
We're not gonna spend 3 hours. We are talking about it at length.
Yes. So it's kind of like the time paradox that I brought forth before, and which kind of gets explained in the movie, is that so there is, all this interaction between characters that they're not supposed to be interacting with, first of all. Second of all, if you tell somebody something in the past, right, and they relay that to, let me take that as an aside, because they do address the point that these timelines do branch when you do different things in them. So even though they're doing time shit in the past, it's not necessarily going to affect their future. But at the same time, you know, spoiler alert, you already said Gamora ends up with Star-Lord. That's not his Gamora, though.
No, it's not.
They took her from another timeline. She's not theirs. So you've already fucked up that timeline.
So now, and at the end, she wasn't with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
No.
Because now it's the Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Because Thor joined the Guardians of the Galaxy at the end.
And yet again, it's like I said, they do a lot of time fuckery.
Basically, you know what's funny? There's been 2 movies this year that has used Back to the Future Part 2 as
a jump off point.
As a plot line. The first was Happy Death Day to You.
One of your favorite movies of all time.
No, not really.
Yeah, no.
It was fine. And now Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
And ironically, it is the 20th anniversary of Back to the Future Part 2.
Really? 20th? Thought it was older than that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, 30th.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Yeah, it's the 30th anniversary of Back to the Future Part 2. And how ironic it is that that movie is being referenced now in 2 movies. And especially in one of the most popular movies of the year so far.
Yeah.
So, as we know, Iron Man is no longer Iron Man. Iron Man's dead.
All my friends are dead.
He put on the gauntlet, snapped his fingers, and brought everybody back.
Yep.
And that might be the best part of it. That was my favorite part of this movie.
Yeah.
Seeing everybody come back, that gigantic battle at the end.
Yeah, the gigantic battle was fan-fucking-tastic.
That was great. That was my favorite part of this movie, seeing everybody come back. Everybody has been in any Marvel movie in the last 10 years. Yeah, they all came back and fought Thanos' army. And that was the best part.
Yeah, it was. It was, like I said, it was fantastic.
But again, it's just like the raid on Death Star Part 2 and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, that's fine, though. It's like I said, it's a fan-servicey movie. Yeah. And it needs to be. I mean, you can't have a movie universe. Yeah. 22 movies. You got all these characters. They all got to get their shine. And you know, they balanced it well, except for Captain Marvel. They balanced all of it very well. And I can't even be mad at them for that.
Captain Marvel pissed me off.
Yeah, it pissed everybody.
It pissed me off. You can't tell me you liked her role in this movie.
Oh no,
especially
not at all.
Seeing Captain Marvel and knowing what she can do.
Yes.
And saying to yourself, why was she not more in this movie?
Why wasn't she the end-all be-all problem solver that she was built up to be?
Yeah.
She was built to be, I solve the problem, the thing ends with me, and guess what? Nah, it's like all those weird-ass ways they come up with to make Superman not, like, do the Superman thing and solve the problem with one punch.
Yeah, like the end of, it's basically the end of Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah.
And then we get his Justice League, and he comes back, and you're like, okay, so they fight him for a minute, they don't win, but then he comes back at the end and solves all the fucking problems.
All the problems.
All the fucking problems. I did like the funeral at the end.
Funeral was good.
The other thing I know that bothered you quite a bit was girls are doing it.
No.
Doing it.
Okay.
Doing it,
the girls are doing it shot. You know what? That didn't bother me. I just find it funny that they did it. But it didn't bother me. You know why? Because Captain Marvel, even though she was in it, she didn't steal the show. It was Pepper Potts being in it felt better for me.
That was weird. Like
I like the fact that she was in it.
That she was. I forgot at one point she
wore the suit.
Was that part 3?
Yes.
Okay.
When they fought the Mandarin and he does So I thoroughly enjoyed the fact that she was in it. What was I gonna say? The thing that bugged me was okay. So remember how they explained we're gonna snap and we're gonna bring everybody back right here.
Right.
And I remember when I said this, you kind of started flipping out with laughter. It was like, okay, so you're bringing people back right here, right? Mm-hmm. What about all those people that were in planes Or
why am I making this plane? No.
Yeah, well, some of the planes like just crashed.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't just explode in the middle of the air, but they did crash. So, like, what if there was like a building built on their site?
You should let me die. No.
Or people like did like turn to dust in the middle of the air.
Yeah.
So they weren't in the plane when it crashed. So they're not on the ground, but they get brought back in the middle of the air.
Yeah.
And it's just, we brought back all these people. Oh crap! Now it's raining people.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course they would have. That's just one of those monkey paw type solutions. But it's also one of the goofier ones that I tend to think about. So
we should also talk about the fact that so at the end they have all the Infinity Stones.
Yes.
Captain America says, "I'm going to go back and hide these stones," and he does.
Yes.
But when he comes back, he's old man Steve Rogers.
Yes.
Says, "Hey, when I was gone, I lived life."
Yeah. He did I'm staying here to be the dude.
Yeah. And he appoints the Falcon,
yes.
aka Sam Wilson, as the new Captain America.
Damn right.
So going forward, you have now a black Captain America.
But we already knew that. I mean, all the comic nerds,
that from the comic books.
All the comic book nerds already knew that that was going to happen.
Yeah, in the books, Captain America dies.
Yes.
And then Sam Wilson becomes the new
Spoiler alert.
Captain America. So does Bucky.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they didn't go in that direction.
I'm not, because Bucky is still technically, he's still technically on the outs.
Yeah.
So you can't just give the bad guy from, the last couple of runs.
And the end of that movie is you see Captain America in a house with Peggy.
Yes.
Dancing. The dance that he never got to have with her.
Yes.
Whether that's back in time or he died and that's heaven for him. Maybe that's what happened.
No, I think that's just a back in time shot.
Now, to your point,
yes.
Because this copy that we had didn't have an end scene, and you say there is no post-credit scene this time.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, what?
But
how do you not have a post-credit scene?
Because, I mean, this is the end of that.
Of that chapter?
Of that chapter.
And there's so much you could have done.
Oh, yeah, there's a ton of shit you could have
said anything. You could have done anything because you already had the crowd in the palm of your hand. You could have brought in anybody. You could have brought in the X-Men. You could have brought in Galactus. You could have brought in the Fantastic Four, Deadpool.
You could have, but then
because they own that shit.
Yeah, it's fine that they end with credits. The credits roll. That's it. Because you don't want any expectation leading to an idea that, there's going to be more to this universe. The universe is done. It's done
for now.
Yeah, no. This
for now.
I mean, what are they going to do? Go back?
No, you go forward with shit.
Yeah.
Disney owns Fox, which means they own X-Men and Deadpool. Especially X-Men.
Yeah, but you don't connect the previous movies to that.
Why?
Though.
Why? Why not? The whole X-Men timeline is fucking fucked up anyways.
That's fine, but it has nothing to do with this cinematic
That's the next
run.
Chapter. Okay.
Then you start a new chapter. You don't book in the end of a book series with, and by the way, we got more.
I disagree.
No, you can disagree. That's fine.
I disagree. This is like WrestleMania, right? At the end of a lot of WrestleManias, they brought people back in.
That's fine, but
like WrestleMania 8, they brought back Ultimate Warrior, and that was a new chapter. It's like, Ultimate Warrior's back.
Yeah, because that's an ongoing serial. That's
so is this.
No, it's not. It's a cinematic universe that had a definitive end. You don't say this is the end and say no. There's more.
It's not anything though.
No,
because we know that Spider-Man's coming.
Yes, and that's a new phase, and that's a new direction that they're going in.
That's my point, C.
No, that you keep saying that's my point, but it's not the point.
That's my point. No, we would agree to disagree. I think you could have said something instead of just being like, oh, well, Captain America dies at the end. Or doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because we don't know what's going on with him. I did think it was funny when he said, like, when he gave him the fucking shield.
Yeah.
He still had Captain America's strength.
Yeah. And he just arm wrestled
him. Oh, I fucking fucked you up, nigga.
Yeah.
I'm still Captain America, motherfucker.
I can still wrestle you. I'm old. I can still wrestle your ass to the ground. I don't give a fuck. Captain America.
I know it seems like, especially with myself, that it feels like I'm shitting on this movie.
Cause you are.
I'm not shitting on it. It is a satisfying ending for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you have to go through a lot of bullshit to get to that.
Yes.
So, I leave it to you. Is it a theater movie or a bootleg movie?
It's 100% a theater movie.
If you've invested this much time like we did, then obviously we would have saw it in the theater. And quite frankly, if you say, hey, listen, I'm going to go back to the theater to see this, I'd go with you.
Yeah, I'm definitely going back to the theater to see this because I gotta take the famo to see this.
The fam to that, yeah.
Yes,
okay.
Got the fam. Got to see that.
Yeah. So I don't want to completely shit on this movie. If you've seen the rest of them, then
you gotta see this one. This one's
it's
must.
Endgame. So that's one thing. Here's the other thing.
Yes.
So AMC did another one of those Marvel movie marathons.
Really?
59 hours.
For all of them.
For all of them. All 20. It was the first 21 movies, and then they were going to show you Endgame.
Huh.
There's no way. There's no way I would do that. As a geek and a fan of the MCU, I still wouldn't do that.
No, that's.
I don't need to sit through
3 days. More than 3 days.
Yeah. I don't need to sit through Iron Man 3 again. I don't need to sit through the first 2 Thor movies again.
Mm-hmm.
Winter Soldier, I can do without that. Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2, nah, I'm good. Doctor Strange, I don't need to see that again.
Okay.
Yeah. For all the collectibles and all the concession discounts that they got, it's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough for me to sit in a theater for. That's like you trap me in a room and say, okay, you have to watch all the WrestleManias. WrestleMania 1 to WrestleMania 35. Ugh. I was like, oh, that's rough.
Why'd you give me all this fucking homework?
I don't want this. I don't need to see WrestleMania 4 again. I don't need to see WrestleMania 15 again. Or WrestleMania 2000. Or WrestleMania 25. I don't need to see all this. I'm good. I don't even care. I wouldn't care if they gave you a special belt.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, just seeing all the WrestleManias, like, here's this solid gold belt. That's unique only to you.
Yeah,
because
it has your name on it. Because you did this endurance match.
Your face. It has face plates with your face on it. I'd still be like, nah, you can keep that shit, WWE.
Nah, fam.
Nah. So that's all we have to say about Avengers Endgame.
See the damn movie.
Yeah, see it.
Do the damn thing.
Especially if you've seen all the rest of them, or even most of them. Yeah, sit down and see it. Where do you rank it? Where do you rank this movie?
It's definitely top. Say top 5.
Really?
Top 5 Marvel movies?
I don't know that I rank this. I don't know where I rank this one. Top 5?
I mean, definitely Infinity War 1.
I can't say top 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's close.
Close. Top 10?
Civil War. Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
First Avengers. Mm-hmm. First Iron Man. First Guardians.
Okay.
Maybe this is 6.
Maybe that's 6. Maybe
it's 6. I can't put it in top 5.
I would say Infinity War.
It's cool, but not cool enough that I'm like, it replaces one of those for me.
First Iron Man is good, but it doesn't seem to hold up for me. I think it just more has a legacy factor. Where
I like it. I still like it. I still think it holds up.
I would say mine is Thor 1, 2, and Ragnarok.
You're a fucking liar. You are a liar.
Woo, 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 woo.
Pants on fire.
Nah, it's definitely Infinity War 1, Civil War. I would say, see. Now, are we only talking MCU or just Marvel movies in general?
Just MCU.
Oh, just MCU.
Out of 22 movies.
All right.
Where do you rank? Yeah. Where do you put this one at?
Dang, because there was, I would say, I gotta get back to you on that one. Okay. I know. Civil War is number 2, and Infinity War is my number 1.
So is mine.
Yes.
So is it is for me. But Endgame, I'm gonna put it in my top 5.
Mm.
It was cool for what it was. The end was cool.
The end was sufficient for what it needed to happen.
The first 2/3, some of it was cool, some of it wasn't.
Yeah, I got enjoyment more than I didn't, but my nitpicky side just started like twitching a lot.
Yeah.
And it was more annoying to have that twitch factor going than to really.
Holy shit! We were talking for 41 minutes.
Yeah, thumbs up.
So
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Get your ass off the couch after listening to this.
So
and go see it again.
Let's end this. Let's end this conversation. We talked all we could about Endgame. Let's finish it off as we always do with some box office numbers.
Endgame's number 1.
These are the top 10 most popular or most successful movies of the weekend as of Sunday night. And of course, number 1, spoilers. Do we really need to tell you the movie we just talked about? Now, last week, we sat here and played a game of predictions.
Mm-hmm.
I said that this movie would make $250 million. You say it would make $500 million. I don't know who won this one, but what I can tell you is that as of Sunday,
made $1 billion plus.
Just domestically.
Just domestically?
$350 million.
$350 million.
It is the biggest opening for any MCU movie ever.
All right.
Globally, it has already made $1 billion.
Yes.
It is the fastest movie to make $1 billion in history.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because everybody wanted to see us, including ourselves.
Yeah. Because you know what? Closure is a powerful fucking thing.
This is the Return of Jedi of the Marvel of the MCU. Yeah. It just is.
Yeah.
It just is. I would be surprised if it doesn't make. I think it's going to drop. It'll probably make maybe like $100 million next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just the fallout of everybody that didn't see this movie. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Number 2 was Captain Marvel. Obviously.
Well, she had to be in something.
Yeah. Not in this shit. Not in fucking Endgame. But anyways.
Yes.
That movie made $8 million, $413.5 million domestically.
Okay. Success.
Number 3 was The Curse of La Llorona.
Curse of La Llorona?
Yeah, which I have. I didn't see it yet.
Oh, okay.
I didn't watch it because I was like, well, we're not going to have time to talk about it today.
No.
$7.5 million, $41.2 million at the box office.
Alrighty.
Number 4 was the feel-good movie Breakthrough. It's not about the kid that falls in the fucking ice.
Oh, okay.
He survives and all that shit.
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
$6.3 million, $26.1 million altogether. Number 5 was DC Shazam.
Makes sense.
Huh?
So it makes sense.
Okay. $5.5 million, $131.1 million in the box office.
Nice.
So doing good. Did like that movie. Number 6 was Little. $3.4 million, $35.8 million at the box office.
Quite
Number 7 was Dumbo.
I forgot that even was still running.
It is, and it made $3.2 million. It's made over $100 million, $107 million exactly. Number 8 was Pet Sematary. Fuck out of here.
Your favorite.
Fuck out of here. $1.2 million. $52.6 million. Number 9 was Us.
Yay.
Which you still have not to see.
No. I'll get to it.
$1.1 million. $172.8 million domestically.
All right.
So it probably made more than it cost to make.
Great set.
And number 10 was Penguins. The new Disney. I think it's the sequel to March of the Penguins.
Is it?
Yeah. And the Penguins movie from Disney.
Good for them.
$1 million, $5.7 million. All together. Next weekend, I mean, not a whole lot coming out besides the Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron movie, Long Shot.
All right.
Dennis Quaid and something called The Intruder. Toys coming to animated life in Ugly Dolls. So clearly, Endgame is going to win again next weekend because none of these movies are going to be able to compete with Endgame. If you haven't seen it so far, you will see it at some point. So, as we get out of here, what we were going to do before we saw Endgame, we were going to do a short episode, and this is a pretty short episode. We were going to sit down and talk about what's going on with this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Because looking at the analytics for this podcast, in this month alone, we're down 71% in views.
Yeah, I believe that.
We have no new subscribers.
Yep.
It's not enough to make me quit this show. It's not. But it is enough to make me concerned and say, okay, we need to sit down at some point and talk about where do we go from here.
Yes.
You know? And that's what we're going to do in the next couple of days, couple of weeks.
Yep.
And talk about, okay, what do we need to do to get our brand out here? Because I believe in this podcast. I believe in this brand. I believe in me and you.
I believe the children are the future.
Shut up. I'm trying to be fucking serious, you fucking fucktard right now.
I know. Continue.
You understand?
Yes.
I believe that we're doing good shit.
You just have to have more ears to hear the good shit.
And that's what we need to figure out.
Yes.
We need to figure this out at this point. Like I said, it's not enough to make me quit. It's enough to make me a bit sad that in the beginning everybody was gung-ho, and since then, let's be honest. Last episode, 4 views. One of it was me.
Well, we'll get that. Well, like I said, it's a rough patch, but you don't get to 100 episodes if you concern yourself over the trippings over, episodes.
I get that. I get that.
It's a marathon.
Even like the testimony that 60-something views is a drop of sweat on the body of YouTube.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
Man, I got a 27-second clip that has 500. So it's just one of those things.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, I know.
That's hysterical.
But
tell me that right now.
Don't worry. See, the thing is that it's like you gotta put the thing out to the ears that need it. So we'll talk about this, when the mics are off. But it's just about putting the thing out that people will say, "Oh, that's cool."
Okay.
And
well, hopefully this was cool for anybody that saw Endgame.
Yeah, and if you didn't see it and you like being spoiled like I do, I don't really care. I
don't understand about you.
What, about being spoiled?
Yeah.
I'm gonna see it. It's like
no, that's like bullshit.
Okay, so my thing is this.
So if you knew the end of Game of Thrones, you still watch it anyways, even if you knew it. For what?
Because I am a comic book reader.
So
and I am
so
also,
am I.
Let me finish. I'm a comic book reader. I'm also a fan of anime, mangas, and stuff like that. Do you know how much shit that people are like, oh man, I'll just wait till the show comes out. I'm like, the book is right here. Just read the book. I'll read the book, and then I'll watch the show, and I'll be like, you know what? I read it in a book. It's fine.
That's fucking dumb. I don't care if anything is spoiled for me.
It depends.
I cussed out. No, let me tell you something. I cussed out somebody one year that told me the end of the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
I cussed that dude out, and he was touched, and I still cussed his ass out.
Okay, my thing is this.
I don't want shit spoiled.
My thing is this. The whole culture of spoilers, right? It really depends on to what degree do you attribute moments being special. Now, if it's something where I'm like, okay, I've been waiting forever for the next chapter of my comic, right? And it ended on a cliffhanger, and I want it, right? Then I might feel a certain sort of way about getting spoiled, right? But if I know I won't be able to consume it for a while, especially well after it's been aired or shown or published, then I don't care because I'll get to it eventually. That's the only. It's how much. Remember how I always say fear of missing out? How much does fear of missing out affect me? It doesn't affect me anymore. It used to affect me a lot. That's why I used to get games day one. That's why I used to be in the line to see these movies day one. But after a while, you realize I'm going to get the story anyway. Now, there is something special about being in that audience or being, watching that thing and seeing it and saying, hey, oh man, that's so fucking dope. I was, yo, you saw it. You saw it. It's the feeling everybody has when the first one to see Endgame. But it's not that big of a deal.
It is to me, and I don't want anything spoiled for me at all.
That's
nothing, fine. Nothing. To your point, well, I just get around to it eventually. But if it's something that I want to see, I will go out of my way to see it. Just like Endgame. We could have saw you. We could have went to the theater to see this, but guess what? Yeah. We didn't. But we saw it anyways.
Yeah.
That's the point. I don't want anything that I'm interested in spoiled for me. I don't care if it's a comic. I don't care if it's a book. I don't care if it's a TV show. I don't care if it's a fucking movie.
Yeah.
I don't want it spoiled. A pay-per-view, I don't want it spoiled for me. I want to be... I don't care if nobody else is around, but just me. If I'm invested in it, I don't want it spoiled. That's my point. You're a fucking mutant, see? You're a fucking weird-ass mutant.
That's fine, though. It's fine.
That likes black licorice and circus peanuts.
I love circus peanuts.
You're a fucking nasty-ass mutant.
They are a delicious treat.
That's just disgusting. So,
with that, we're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
You going to say our goodbyes?
We are going to say our goodbyes for now. We kept this close to an hour. That's all you get. So, if you made it this far, hope you enjoyed Endgame as much as we tried to, at least as much as I tried to.
Yes.
But we will be back next week. I've been Alan 1. He's been Brother C. We've been the Geeks from Apartment 2. And as always, we will keep the door open for you.
Deuces.
Laters.